to read the markets. Today we'll start with Meta Platforms, which is now in an antitrust case in US, and that could cause them to be split up. But let's see how the market reacted. Market reacted by sending stock down 2.4% yesterday, but it was still in this range here between 586 and down to the lows here at 400, just below 482. But it seems like it has. It didn't close above 586, so we need to. It is in a bearish trend. No divergence on the RSI, could push lower, and especially if it takes out the lows here from last week, well, then there is a potential towards 440, 430 level, possibly lower. It really needs to close above that level there to establish a bullish trend. On the overall indices, S&P 500, well, it did push a little bit higher, but it didn't close this gap here, which will be key for further upside potential. So it could still resume downtrend. So if it moves back below 5,300 and lower, then we are in for another sell-off. Negative sentiment still on the RSI could indicate we could see lower lows, but it's not necessary to do so. So let's see. The pre-market just basically unchanged. The Nasdaq index also closed a little bit higher, but still not much to talk about. Still negative sentiment on the RSI. However, and I think we'll just draw a trend line here. So if it takes out 19,235, then it could establish a short-term uptrend to around 20,290 level. Pre-market of about 0.5%, but still within this or below this 19,232. The Dow Jones index also a little bit higher, but needs to close this gap here between 40,987 and 41,413. The pre-market, not much to talk about, dancing around this 61.8 retracement of this massive sell-off there. European markets, EuroStoxx50 slightly higher yesterday, but needs to get back about 4,988, and preferably back above the 200 moving average and 5,000 for at least start trying to establish a counter trend. For now, this is just a bounce, could easily continue lower. Negative sentiment on the RSI, both daily and weekly, indicating we could see lower levels. But again, as we talked about, the nature of stocks, you can either own them or not. Most people can either own them or not. They can't short. It's only the big guys and a few individual investors that can actually short them. So it will be biased, underlying biased, bullish. So eventually it can bounce back. However, we could be sideways for quite some time, but look out for these levels here around just below 5,000. If we close above that level, well, then there could be some further bouncing up till around. And let's have a look where we could move to in the region around 5,130 and 40, and maybe up to 5,300. But it will be a struggle, no question about it. If it takes out the 4,828, then I think we will see a downtrend to resume here pre-market. Well, it is a market actually just open, sorry about that, but still we are basically unchanged. 5,068 on the EuroStoxx50 CFD. Here we have DAX 21,253. That's the key. If it can close above that, well, then we can see maybe a push up to around 22,000, where there's some stronger resistance going on. And the CFD, we can see, well, it is being lifted at the moment. 21,525 will confirm that it has at least short-term built a bullish trend. Euro dollar stalling a little bit after reaching the resistance just a few cents below 140 114, 80, 85. We could see a little bit of a setback, and to try to figure out where it could drop to, well, then we use the Fibonacci levels and say, okay, from this leg up here, maybe we could see a setback to around 111.90, possibly 110.15 area, possibly. We can also measure the last leg up here, and then we're talking around 111, and that could be in the cards, but as we can see here on the weekly chart, medium term, we are in a bullish trend that could take it higher to 117. The sterling dollar testing the previous peak here at 132. In a bullish trend also on the weekly, could push higher towards previous peaks there at 134.35. Euro sterling in a correction mode could take it down to around 85.75 versus 38.2 retracement. But if we zoom in and say, okay, the last leg up there could also be a move that could just have its own energy and could take it down to 786 retracement at 85.66. So in this region here, I think it will stop and turn around and keep building uptrend again and resume uptrend. However, if it takes out 85.19, well, then this bullish trend has reversed, at least short term. But medium term, you can see we are in a fairly strong bullish trend, but a correction is needed. Nothing news on dollar yen. We are still talking about this 142.20 support that it really needs to take out for further levels. There's a little bit divergence here on the RSI. You can see RSI hasn't recorded lower levels, so we are a little bit stretched. However, on the weekly, there's no strong resistance until, or support, sorry, 140.25, and I think we'll reach that. But maybe a little bit of counter trend again to 145, and then I think downtrend will resume. The euro yen, still this range here, 164.20 to the upside to establish a bullish trend, but it's caught in this wide range here between 164.18.20 and the 158.35. Aussie yen. A strong bounce, and it could bounce further up to at least 92 area, possibly up to the 93.15, 93.35 with the 786 retracement in this region here. I don't think it will reverse the trend. I think we will see push up to maybe the 91.75, possibly up to just around 93, maybe a little bit over, and then I think we will see it resuming downtrend. The sterling yen also in a bouncing mode, and if it takes out 189.85, then I think we'll see a push up to 195.5, where we have the 61.8 retracement currently coming, and we also have the all the moving average declining here, so there will be very strong resistance in this area here, and then I think downtrend will resume if we get up to there. If it being rejected here at just below 190, 189.85, well, then the downtrend is likely to resume. Aussie dollar, massive bounce it has experienced back above the clouds. Currently, RSI testing at the 60 threshold. A key will be, will it be rejected or can it close above it? If it does close above it, then there's potential higher to 65.50. If it's being rejected, it could soon again test the cloud area. In the cloud area, it will give some support here in this region around 62.5. So that will be key here the next couple of days. If it does close above the 63.90 at the peak here, well, then the RSI will also close above 60 threshold, and there's potential higher to 65.5. Dollar Canada didn't update. There we are. Dollar Canada kind of treading water here at just about 138.20. We could see a little bit of a bounce, and when we see things like that, we could at least check, okay, could it bounce? If it takes out the 138.20, then we are looking at 137.5, 136.5 in this region here. Could see it lower to that, but maybe a little bit of a counter trend, a correction to a 140.52 area, which is the 38.2 retracement, maybe even up to the 61.8 at 141.90. Sterling Canada. Well, it's in a bouncing mode and could bounce. It already taken back 50%, but I think we could see a bounce up to around 184, just around that level there, which is 61.8 retracement. Then I think we'll see it resuming a downtrend. However, the 55 moving average, the 100 and the 200, they are all rising, so maybe we could push it higher, and we didn't close below the cloud, so if we can also get the RSI back above 60 threshold, and if we can get Sterling Canada above 184, well, then it could resume uptrend with the potential of back above these levels here around 187. Swiss francs and Euro Swiss, well, this is key. Look at the weekly chart over here on the right side, and 92, just above 92, bouncing from this again is really, really key. If it doesn't bounce from here and it goes straight through, well, then we are in for a much lower levels, really, and then we have to go really far back here to 2015, where we have levels around just below 90, but we could bounce up to 93.75, possibly up to where we have the 55 coming down to 200 and 100. Strong resistance in this area. Dollar Swiss, massive move we have seen in dollar Swiss, and I think we could also see a little bit of a bounce now here the next few days, possibly up to around 84. But strong bearish trend, as we talked about yesterday. There's not really much support until these lows here back from 2015, and then we have something also here from an 11 and 12 at around 1180 level 11. Sorry, I'm babbling here. 77.82, which was the low here from 2015. This swift move, and finally on the dollar index. Just let's resize it here. There's some support here around 90 and a quarter, and we could see a bit of a bounce, and we can add Fibonacci to just the last leg down there, and maybe we'll see a bounce up to around just below 101. But it's a massive move here. We have seen a very strong downtrend. No divergence actually, so maybe we're just moving sideways before next move lower. And if it takes out 98.60, well, then we're looking in the region around 97.44. Gold still in a bullish trend, indicating maybe we could see a correction. It is still in the cards. But if it takes out the peak here at 3,246, expect a move up to around 3,300, which is the 161.8 projection of this correction here. But if it does, if it doesn't and starts sliding lower, then we can add some Fibonacci to this and say, okay, I think we did it yesterday when we doing this yesterday's session, then maybe we could see a setback to around 3,135. The silver dancing around the 61.8, currently just a little bit above. We are back above the cloud. The 55 moving average is giving some resistance here at the moment. However, the RSI is still in a negative sentiment. Hasn't closed back above 60 threshold. So key here the next couple of days. Can that also get back above 60 threshold? The indicator there. That would probably require a push up to the 786 retracement at 33 and a quarter. If it starts sliding lower and take out to the downside the cloud again, then downtrend is likely to resume. So I think it would be a little bit of a struggle here in this region. The copper future, also the 55 moving average. You can see how 55 moving average is often quite key. And we are back above the cloud, but negative sentiment on the RSI We have resumed almost 50% of this sell-off there. If we can start moving back above that level of 471, then I think we could see a push up to the 61.8 retracement at 486. Crude oil here, WTI crude oil still in a bouncing mode. I still believe we could see up to around 65 and a quarter, 65.75, which is the 61.8 retracement. Then we have the moving average coming down, kind of putting a lid on it. And if it takes out some of the lows here from late last week, well, then I think we'll see downtrend to resume. We have the Brent crude oil, and let's just zoom in a little bit on it. Let's resize this. If it takes out 66.07, then I think we'll see a move up to just below $69. We have the 61.8 retracement here at 68.95. So that could be in the cards here. So keep an eye on that. 66.07 minor resistance. And we have the European gas, the Dutch TTF gas. There we are. Bouncing a little bit just from above 32 level, 32 euros. We are in a downtrend, and if we are looking at the weekly chart, and I need to zoom in here really, we have established a downtrend, 30 spots, 32. Well, that's the next support if it takes out the lows from a couple of days ago to 32.70. But I think we could see a bounce up to around 36.75 level. The US nat gas, Henry Hub gas barrels move continues, and I think we could see it dropping down to around $3. I don't think we'll take out the 297 here, but to around $3, and the 200 moving average indicators are pointing in that direction. US 10-year Treasury yield, well, it didn't close above the cloud, but the RSI, and you can see if I highlight this, you can see RSI actually closed above 60 threshold down here. So technically we are in a positive sentiment. I can remove this one. I think we will just see a setback to around 130, 127, and then we could see the next move higher. If it moves back below 424, well, then we are looking at 411, the 61.8 retracement possibly. So that would be key here. But it didn't close above the cloud, but more important is that the RSI actually closed above 60 threshold, indicating likely higher levels. The 2-year, well, still caught in this range here around 390. If it takes out the 395, then we're looking at 404, possibly higher. On the European yields, we have the EU10, really key support here at 247. If it takes out 247, well, then we could see a push down to around 237, maybe even to 233 in this area here, and that will be key in the next couple of days. To establish a bullish trend, we're looking at 272. The UK 10-year, well, same as yesterday, 482 to the upside. It needs to break above that for a bullish trend, but for now it's sliding back and could slide back to 454. And then we have crypto and Bitcoin. Bitcoin's trying to push higher, and I think we could see it pushing up to just around 88,000, maybe 88,800 if it takes out these peak here at 8,800 and a change. Then it will go for the next one, 95,000. So trying to establish a bullish trend. For now, it's just a correction. The Ethereum caught range bound, testing the falling trend line here. What it will do if it starts moving above it and above 1,755, well, then we could see a push up to around 2,100. But for now, still in a bearish trend. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day, and talk to you again later.